The fog that brought Sydney ferries to a standstill this morning has lifted, but emergency warnings for flooding in parts of the state remain in place. A 26-year-old woman remains missing after being swept away by floodwaters in the Hunter region over the weekend. And it's been a nervous night for residents in flood-affected parts of north-central New South Wales. For the latest, our reporter Caitlin Furlong joins us now from Tamworth. G'day again, Caitlin. So tell us, what's the situation in the Hunter, first of all, this morning?
Well, good morning again, James. Yes, the Hunter River is at a minor flood level at Raymond Terrace, and there's currently an evacuation warning in place for parts of that area so that people who are in low-lying parts of Raymond Terrace evacuate, and so they're not in danger from the rising floodwaters. Of course, the other big issue in the Hunter Valley at the moment is the search for that woman who went missing in floodwaters on the weekend. Now, she was in a car that entered a flooded causeway. The driver managed to get out and get safely to a creek bank, but this 26-year-old Chinese national has not been found yet. Police have confirmed the search will resume today, with police divers being involved in that, and a nervous wait for everyone involved.
Now, you're joining us upstream of Gunnedah in Tamworth this morning. How are things looking there today?
Well, here in Tamworth, the river is back below a minor flood level, which is great to see. However, in Gunnedah, the river, the Namoy River there, has peaked. It peaked early this morning. It's expected to remain at a major flood level until tomorrow evening, and then, of course, there'll be effects downstream as well. We're expecting major flooding at Wee Waa tomorrow evening and moderate flooding at Narrabri during the day tomorrow as well. There could also be some minor flooding further downstream, and some, of course, minor flooding occurring at Boggabri at the moment as well.
And Caitlin, we saw those extraordinary pictures over the weekend of heavy snow on the northern tablelands around Armidale and further north towards the Queensland border. How's the recovery going? Because that really did cause quite a lot of chaos.
It's caused an incredible amount of damage, a lot of trees down, which has done enormous damage to power. Now, we've just heard an update from Essential Energy in the last half hour or so. They've made some massive inroads with restoring power on the northern tablelands. There's now some 2,500 customers without power at the moment. But yesterday morning, when I was speaking with you, that number was some 8,000. Helicopters have been brought in to try and assess the damage on more remote properties, but there are some significant challenges with the amount of vegetation that's down, and it could still be a long wait for those without power. The good news is the community is rallying. Churches and golf clubs are opening up their locker rooms and showers so that people who can't have a hot shower or a cup of tea can come and warm up with them.
Oh, that is good to hear. And it's nice to see it's so sunny there behind you as well. Caitlin Furlong, thanks for your time this morning.
Foreign Minister Penny Wong says the government understands the urgency behind the global push to recognise a Palestinian state. Political reporter Isabel Rowe joins us now. Isabel, good morning. So how strong of a statement is this from the Senator?
Well, she is really moving her language more in favour of recognising a Palestinian state sooner rather than later. Penny Wong is using words like urgent. She's talked about the timeliness of this issue. She says there's been lots of engagement with other countries. Now, we know that France, Canada and the UK have already indicated that they will be looking to recognise a state of Palestine by the United Nations meeting in September. The question for the government has been whether it will also follow those countries, and we understand from some of Penny Wong's language there that there will be or is a lot of movement behind the scenes on this issue. She spoke to us just a short time ago.
The best way to ensure peace and stability in the Middle East is for there to be two states. And the reason for urgency behind recognition is this: there is a risk that there will be no Palestine left to recognise if the world does not act.
The government has been grappling with what to do about the terrorist group Hamas, whether to recognise a Palestinian state and what role they would play. The Nationals leader David Littleproud also on the program this morning raising some of those concerns, but Penny Wong's response was that, this is the international community pushing to try and diminish the role of Hamas.
And Isabel, we've just heard the Prime Minister has spoken with the President of the Palestinian Authority overnight. What was talked about?
Yes, we've just received a readout from the Prime Minister's office, which is, I guess, a bit of a rundown of the phone call that was had. Apparently, the Prime Minister spoke to President Mahmoud Abbas overnight. He reiterated Australia's call for the immediate entry of aid, talked about a permanent ceasefire and the release of all hostages. The Prime Minister apparently reinforced Australia's commitment to the two-state solution, and the President Abbas also thanked Australia for its contribution. The Prime Minister's also confirmed that the leaders discussed deepening cooperation between the Australian government and the Palestinian Authority, and that they have agreed to meet on the sidelines of that United Nations summit in September that we've been talking about.
Okay, Isabel, thank you.
In breaking news this morning, a teenage girl is dead and a second has been arrested after a stabbing in Newcastle. Emergency services were called to the scene in Newcastle's west last night. Paramedics treated a girl at the site before taking her to hospital where she died. She is yet to be formally identified.
A post-mortem will be conducted on a woman from Bordertown in South Australia's southeast after police declared she'd been killed by her husband in a murder-suicide. Police found the bodies of a 47-year-old man and 41-year-old woman in their house late Sunday night. They say the couple had children, but they were not home at the time. And if this story's raised any issues for you, you can get help by calling the National Sexual Assault, Domestic and Family Violence Counselling Service on 1800 RESPECT, and the website is also on your screen.
The South Australian and federal governments are expected to this morning announce a funding package to support the Port Pirie lead smelter. The lead smelter employs about 900 people in Port Pirie, but Nyrstar revealed in June that it's losing tens of millions of dollars a month on its operations in the Upper Spencer Gulf and in Hobart. The company has been lobbying for government help amid claims that it has suffered due to China's distortion of the market.
Tasmanian Premier Jeremy Rockliff is expected to head to Government House to ask for his government to be recommissioned as early as this evening. The Liberals won 14 seats, 4 more than Labor at last month's election, but fell short of winning a majority. Labor leader Dean Winters says he will try to form minority government if Mr Rockliff doesn't have the numbers.
And a regional Victorian couple are fighting a legal battle to keep their home after they mistakenly built it on the wrong block. Melanie and David Moore purchased land in 2021 and installed a driveway and moved a relocatable house onto the 2-hectare block, only to find out 3 years later that they actually owned the property next door. The couple was given 14 days to relocate the house, but say they can't afford to, and the future of the house is now in the hands of lawyers. That does not sound ideal.